All of my friends say, girl, you better take care. Cause that man is trouble, you best beware. And though deep down, I know I might be headed for teardrops. Now that you got me started,
Welcome back to the Tiny Garden. My name's Laura and I love to grow fruits and veggies in my small urban garden. Today I've got loads to get on with. It's going to be the last chance for me to kind of get some carrots into the ground. So I'm going to sow two varieties. I grew these last year. They were really productive. So I'm really happy to be getting those back into the ground. So the first variety is a Chantenay. So it's kind of like a short, kind of stubby sort of carrot, perfect for container growing, or if you're kind of looking for something to grow at the end of July. This is a variety that should produce you some lovely carrots towards the end of winter. These ones I'll actually keep for my Christmas dinner. Did the exact same thing last year and I pulled them on Christmas Eve and it was just a delight to have. So I can't wait to get these carrots going. And then there's a second variety that I grow just for a bit of fun and for something different and quirky. So it's a round carrot, it kind of grows smaller than a golf ball and it's called Paris Market. Grew those as well, perfect for containers, just a bit of fun, more of a snacking sort of carrot more than anything. But again, great producer, tastes amazing, and I also had those on my Christmas dinner last year and I sowed them at the very end of July. So perfect time to get these in the ground, still plenty of time. I think even if you pushed it to the first week of August, I'd say you'd be okay if you're in a similar growing zone to me. So I think the USDA growing zone that I'm in is zone 9. I just checked it on like a map thing. I'm not 100% sure, but I do think it's growing zone 9. So that's obviously frost hardiness. So yeah. The second thing that I'm looking to get into the ground today is some turnips. So I'll be growing these from seed. The turnip I'm growing is the first thing I ever actually harvested from this garden. So it has like a little special place in my heart because it's so nostalgic. So the turnip variety is called Milan Purple Top. Produces a beautiful sort of like smallish type turnip, perfect for roasting, or you can even pan fry it. So nice. So I'm going to get some of those into the ground today as well. So I'm also wanting to put on a few things. So I have some beetroot that I sowed probably, I'd say that was about 4 weeks now. So I sowed this about 4 weeks ago. So this needs to get in the ground. And I'm going to put this in the bed where we took the strawberries out. So that is like raring to go. The roots are busting out of the bottom of it. So yeah, needs to get in the ground. There's a few slugs on the bottom of there, but that's okay because everything's still intact. And then if there is enough space in that bed, I might get in my second sowing of beetroot. So this is the last sowing that I did in the what to sow in July video, and everything's cropped up. They are looking super healthy, and there's a couple of roots just coming out of the bottom of these. So I'm really hoping that there's enough space to get a few of these into that same bed as well. And then we should have some lovely beetroot into autumn and winter. So that'll be super nice. And the other thing I wanted to do with you today, which unfortunately I'm not going to be able to do, is I wanted to harvest the tomatoes with you guys. But yesterday we had like a massive downpour of rain and I was just tying up the pumpkin. It kind of fell over. So I was like, I'll quickly nip out and tie it up and so it doesn't snap or anything in the bad weather. And as I was walking back in the garden, I noticed that the tomatoes, the 3 that I showed you in last week's video, they had completely split. I was keeping them there so that we could harvest them together. And like, I think with the water and the rain that happened, it just took up too much water and obviously it split. It literally happened overnight. Like, I cannot believe it because I was like, oh, I'll keep that there. That's the thing I find the hardest with like trying to like bring you along and show everything, like with the Mange 2 and harvest that with you guys. And then like, obviously, it just went too far then, and then obviously it tried to set seed and then the plant just wasn't kind of producing anymore. So I'm trying like my hardest to kind of like pick everything in its like peak readiness and bring you guys along and show you, but obviously like the weather has really like had an impact on that. So yeah, we'll have another look because obviously now the tomatoes have started to blush. There should be like more hopefully, so I'll have a look at those. And if those aren't ready, if there's not any more on there to pick, I might take you inside and pick some from my inside tomato plant that I have. So I have a small little window box container inside that window box container, I have 3 cherry tomato plants growing. I had extra ones, and it was just an experiment that I said I would try and do, because if they could grow, then I was hoping to propagate later in the season a sucker from one of the main plants over there and pop it into some water, and I was going to try and see could I pop that into a window box, bring it in the house when obviously the season's kind of slowing down a bit, and see with the warmth inside the house last for like maybe a late autumn crop of tomatoes. I don't know if it will work or not, but you can see from inside the tomatoes are doing perfectly. They've started to ripen up. I'm going to pick these couple ones here now, and like with that, like I know they're a lot smaller than the ones outside, but like saved me throwing the plants away. Like I had a spare window box, had 3 plants. I kind of knew that they wouldn't be as big as they would be outside with all the space and extra nutrients. But like I think from a window box with, I think it was repurposed old compost I put in there. I put in a couple of sprinkles of chicken manure, watered it in, and that's literally all I've done for that tomato plant. So like I'm super chuffed with those 3 plants, and we're set to get a couple of trusses of fruit on them. So I'm just going to show you my tomatoes that I've had a slight problem with. So obviously I've picked them off now, but yeah, they were looking so perfect. So all I have left at the minute on the tomatoes are some other ones ripening up there, and I think there's a couple over in the corner. So yeah, a bit disappointed with those splitting, which is a shame. But there's a couple more coming on, and I might actually pick those now because they look ready and they're not split. So I'm perfect. Super happy with those. So yeah, the ones I picked from here and here split, which is a shame. And I wonder, are any of these radish ready? I think we've got one. Yeah, look at that. A little baby radish. I'll take that. Could be a couple of those actually. And there's one there. It needs to be come out. Give space to everything else. These are a multicoloured radish. These ones are. So it's like a little yellowy one. And is there any more? Oh, there's a nice purple one there. Nice and big. Nice little purple one. So a couple of radish. I might just go through and see if there's any more, because they look super cool. How fun are they with their little colours on them? So I went through and there wasn't that many ready, but I did get one more extra. I got a little pink one, so I'm super happy with that. And guys, the sun is shining today. I haven't seen the sun all month, so I am so happy to be out in the sun today, picking a few little radish. I think there could be a little cucumber as well, so we're going to nip round the corner and we're going to see. So I'm just going to shimmy round. Obviously, I don't have much space in the garden, and I might need to go back and get some scissors actually, because I feel like there's a lot to harvest in here. So there's loads of little immature fruits. They are super spiky. So there's like 1, 2, 3, loads in there, and it's a slightly bigger one. Not ready yet though, and there is one under there. So I'm going to snip that off. I'm going to go and get my scissors and snip that off. Yeah, this is the second stem I'm training up, and it has started to produce fruit, which is so awesome. And the flowers along here are now producing some fruit too, which is super cool. So that was the original main stem, and I'm expecting it to grow the full length of this bamboo. That'd be super nice. But that is such a wonderful cucumber variety. It's called Market Moor, grows perfectly outside in a temperate climate, doesn't need covering, super productive. And I'm trying to see with this second stem if I get more fruit than I did last year, because I grew 1 stem last year and I was inundated with cucumbers. But I'm thinking if I have a second stem, I might get more cucumbers and then I can pickle some, because I'm really going to try and see and learn about preserving the food. I'm not massively confident with pickling. I've been watching a few videos on how to pickle, so I'm trying to muster up the courage to get it done. But I'm just so afraid that I might give myself food poisoning or something. So yeah, I'm hoping that I get an abundance of cucumbers so that I can actually pickle some of them, because these are great for pickling and eating raw. So yeah, that's my cucumber. I'm just going to grab the scissors and I'm going to pick that one off. Market More cucumber, amazing, love them. And like that, you see, like that's mature now, and the spikes brush off of it so easily, so you don't need to, they just brush off just like that, the spikes, when they're mature, so you don't need to peel it. You can peel that if you want to. Sometimes people feel like the skin's a little bit hard, but I just sliced it up and eat it fresh the way it is. So I'm super happy with that, and I've got so many more that are going to start producing, so I'm just going to keep picking them as early as I can so that it keeps producing more and more and more. And that's the tactic I did last year with it, and they look amazing, so I'm super happy. Didn't expect to do a little garden haul today. I was expecting just to be planting stuff. So this is the second pot of leeks that I sowed, and I'm going to put a few along the back here, I think, for this, just in case the other ones don't take off. So they are in desperate need of getting out of the pot. I have a couple here as well. They're a bit smaller, and I'm just going to plant them a few centimetres apart. Oh my God, what the hell is that? It's a snail. It's okay. It's a snail, everybody. It is looking absolutely wonderful. Like, look at the stems on that. It's absolutely amazing. So it looks a bit like rhubarb, but it's actually not. So it's a red venture celery is what this is. Grew it from seed, so I'm super happy with it. There's 6 plants in this planter. As you can see underneath, there's six plants, and they are so prolific. So I'm really happy with the way the celery's coming on. So I've been harvesting this cut and come again style. So like I'll just literally nip out the door, grab a couple of stalks and throw it into like my spag bowls and my chilies and everything like that. Super handy just to have it at the door because I do use this in a base of everything that I cook with. So I'm really chuffed with it, and I feel like I'm getting longer out of it. Last year it started to get these weird spikes along the stems, and I'm not really sure why that was. Was it a lack of water with the heat that we had? But this is loving the rain, loving this planter. Again, this was repurposed sort of compost. I refreshed it with some grow more and some manure. I've topped it with some wood chips, and yeah, it's absolutely lovely in there. It gets quite wet, this bed. It's actually hard to let the water drain out of it. The water can go down the sides of the legs, but it's kind of something that loves moisture. So the celery's doing fab in there. So I'm super, super happy with that. I'm actually going to pick some of this today. I'm going to do some batch cooking. I'm going to try and get a couple of meals done, prepped. I've got a couple of days off work, and prep them and put them into the freezer for when I go back to college, because it's going to be hectic come September. So I might end up picking a few of these stems, knocking up a couple of spag bowls, some lasagna and some chilli, and I'm going to put that into the freezer. So then when life is getting very, very hectic, I can just go in, grab something from the freezer, defrost it, whack it in the microwave, and then dinner's sorted. And it's one thing I don't have to think about when I'm back in college for my final year. So yeah, super happy with that. That's Red Venture if anybody's interested. And if you're based in Ireland, I got the seeds from Irish Seed Savers. Germination was amazing with those seeds, so I'm super happy with that. Super reliable. Yeah, overall, great experience with that. So this is the haul I got today. So I got some celery, I got 2 little baby cherry tomatoes, I got a couple of radish and a cucumber. So that's not bad considering I wasn't expecting to do a harvest today. So I'm going to use all of that. So the tomatoes are looking good, they haven't split, super happy with that. Got a selection of radish. They look super cool, don't they? Obviously I know that one's a little bit small, but I was making space for the others because I've densely planted these. So yeah, and I got a few sprigs of celery. Guys, this stuff is really strong as well, by the way. Like, if you're growing your own celery, obviously make sure it's well watered, otherwise it will taste super, super bitter. And it loves like boggy, marshy conditions. And when you're cooking with it, you probably only need like 1 or 2 stems. Whereas the stuff you're getting from the shops, you probably end up using the whole thing. So yeah, this stuff is super strong, but look at the colour on that stem. Isn't that amazing? That is just beautiful. What a magnificent colour. Aren't they wonderful? Beautiful blush of purple coming through there. So yeah, wonderful. Such a different sort of variety. Tastes exactly the same. I mean, these ones are bright green, so I feel like maybe the seeds might have got mixed up. I feel like a lot of seeds I've got this year might be mixed packets of seed, even though they say they're one thing. They're certainly growing like other types of plants than what they're advertised as. But like, I'm here for it, right? Because it's so exciting to see how things grow differently year to year. There are some other really positive things that have happened this week as well. My pepper plants have started to flower. I can't believe it. I thought they were a lost cause with all the bad weather. I was really feeling like I should have dug them up and taken them inside or something, but they've started to flower. I'm so happy. I'm going to show you them now. They are so cute. I mean, they've come under a little bit of pest pressure, but they started to flower. I'm so happy. Look, there's a couple of flowers on them. So I'm so happy about that. These are my French beans, look. They're producing, they look so good. There's loads on there. Little skinny ones, how cute are they? These should be, I think these should be a golden variety, I think. I'm not sure, they look fairly green at the minute. But they look so cute. I got them from the Brown Envelope Seed Company. Like open pollinated organic seeds, and the germination on those, I've got 100% germination on those, and they look fab. How amazing does that little patch of French beans look? I'm so happy with those. I haven't had any beans since I've pulled out the mange too, but they look super, super healthy there. And then like I had some spare leeks, so I just popped them in between because they were coming under some pest pressure, and I had nowhere else to put them. I mean, you're not supposed to actually plant leeks with beans, but I did it last year and I got a great bean harvest and I got a great leek harvest. So I'm all here for busting gardening myths, and everything seems to be prolific at the minute. And even if it just keeps away the bugs, because allium type plants, a lot of the pests don't like, then I'm happy with that, even if these leeks don't really take off. But my other leeks aren't doing so well. So that's the beetroot put in and a few leeks, and I did 2 rows of turnips here. I have finished sowing a few rows of Paris Market 5 in the main bed. And then you just saw me finish off planting out sowing the carrot seeds. They were chantenay that went into the bucket. But I've just been having a little whiz around the garden just to see how things are doing. And I wanted to stake up my pumpkin, but as I staked up my pumpkin, I noticed a little cheeky spot in the soil. So I'm going to pop in 2 more leeks into that little space. So I'll show you the little space. So this is kind of my style of planting. I tend to just find a space and squeeze something in. I know you need to be conscious of what you're obviously planting and giving things enough nutrients, but I feel like these 2 little buddies might do really well in there. So I'm just going to pop them in down here. 2 little holes here and here, and I'm just going to pop these in. I plant leeks really deep. You would have seen obviously earlier. I plant them really deep and then I just water them in. I think they'll do perfect there. There's plenty of space for them to grow there, I think. So my other pumpkin, I just pulled him up because he was leaning over. So obviously the main growing tip's there. He's a little bit fragile. I think I knocked his stem a little bit. And the pumpkin that I pulled the flower off of looks like it's going to drop off. But there is another pumpkin there coming at the back, so there's still hope. Sadly, I don't think this little boyo here is going to be the winning one. I think he's going to fall off and drop off because he's gone yellow. I don't think he was pollinated, but there's plenty more. And it's looking, all the new growth is looking lovely and green, which is I'm really happy about. I'm literally just tucked in here next to the mammoth plant of my Pattypan. I mean, I cannot believe I thought the Pattypan was going to be the same size as a French bean plant. Look at the size of it. It's absolutely humongous, and I've had to put in 3 stakes to hold it up. Like, this is a monstrosity of a plant. Like, I put those stakes in yesterday, but like it's growing up even more and more and more, and it's got a little Pattypan coming on it now, which I'm really happy about. It wasn't really doing too much beforehand. So yeah, absolute monster of a plant. It's literally nearly as tall as me. Like, I'm 5'4", and that is like not far off my height. Oh, madness plant. Isn't that crazy? I hope that we get like a bumper crop off of that, because like otherwise I don't know really what it's doing. But genuinely, hand on heart, I thought this would not get much bigger than a French bean plant. I don't know what came over me, but it's literally the monster. I will show you a little Pattypan on it. So I'm super happy with that. This thing just wants to go and go and go and go and go. Absolutely crazy, this plant. But yeah, you can see it really is quite a tiny garden, and it's quite a struggle to get around this garden. I do have my raspberries here at the back. I just need to cut those stems back. So I might do that in the next video if anyone's interested on how to look after their summer raspberries or summer fruiting raspberries. I'll do that in the next video and find a home for those to go permanently, because I can't actually get around there anymore. Yeah, but yeah, thanks so much for hanging out with me today. It's great to have you here. I really enjoyed sowing more seeds today. I feel like there's still plenty of time to get things into the ground. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below, and yeah, I'll catch you in the next video, everybody. Bye. Let's try and get out of here now. That's it, right, we're out. Yeah, see you later everyone, bye.